we are in a world where we actually have seen the first, and probably only season of Wandavision.
That is it.
We're done.
The final episode was tonight.
Are done.
We finally made it.
Finally made it all the way through, and not one episode was an hour long.
No,
not one.
No. That one was 40 minutes.
49 minutes. 49 minutes, Rick.
You can count all the credits and everything else, but yeah.
Yeah. Which are worth watching if you haven't already seen it, and I assume the people who are watching that with us have already seen it. There are 2 credits after scenes, so 2 after credit scenes. And we will definitely get into them later on, but we're not jumping into that early. Look, let's get started, Rick. I'm excited. This was a show that wasn't originally supposed to be the first MCU TV show out of the gate. Did you know that, Rick?
No.
Originally, pre-pandemic, it was going to be Falcon and the Winter Soldier was going to be the first Marvel MCU TV show to come out the gate, but they swapped it around. But this seemed more apt. And as the series has gone along, Rick, it's been one where I thought was slow to pick up. And then it really just shot through the roof, didn't it, in quality? There's no doubt about it. Just shot through the roof. And then basically here we are at the end. And, Rick, how did you think? Did they stick the landing? Did they finish the show the way that you wanted it to be finished, Rick?
I'm kind of on the fence. Loved straight into it. Great. It was awesome. You got witch on witch fighting. You've got Vision and Vision fighting. It was all happening. I'm like, this is fantastic. This is what I want to see. This is what
it's funny to hear that, though. Witch on witch.
Witch on witch.
Why would you even give a shit about witches on TV? I usually avoid shit like that. No, but it was great.
It started off well for me, and then towards the end, it just fell apart for me. And I think, I just, it just fell apart. And
we'll get there. Don't.
I'll explain why.
Bury the lead a little bit. We'll get back to it later on. But you certainly have issues with this episode. I have 2 issues with this episode, which also at the end, around the same time. And I'll be very curious to see if it's the same issue.
Yep.
But we will we'll do what we traditionally do. We'll just kind of go through the episode and talk about what happened. Yeah. And obviously the big thing, Rick, too, was that the episode started right in the middle of an action scene. Boom. We're into it.
Straight.
No lead up.
Just bang.
It's on like Donkey Kong. Agatha's got the rope around the kids' necks, and boom, all of a sudden we're getting vision on vision action.
Vision on vision. That sounds a bit.
Yeah, I know, but mate, it's true, and it was pretty spectacular stuff.
It was. It was
really cool. If you wanted to see, when you talk about the production value of a TV show, like when you start seeing like some of those fights in the air with Vic, they didn't script on any effects.
No. That was at all. Well done. That was.
Oh man, it was cinema quality effects, cinema quality production value. That's incredible. It really was. But yeah, early on, we're just getting into a battle scene where you've got Agatha versus Wanda. You've got Anti-Vision, a la Spectral Vision. I don't know which one it is, versus the Vision in there, and it's really great. But it is a traditional third act action scene. I mean, visually wonderful, but it's really great. But you're right. It is really an episode of very 2 definitive halves almost, I think. But we'll get in the second half. But the first half, what did you think, Rick?
First half was great. I like I said, straight off going from last week's episode straight into it. And then it was, like you said, it was all on like Donkey Kong. And then we had a bit of, we get to see Monica Rambeau with, getting where she ended up. And she was
you get it right
in that room, which was good. And then it started to go off. And then, I had no issues with the first half whatsoever. Great fight scenes with the kids as well. Yeah. They were awesome. And then you got to see a bit more of Monica and her powers as well, and how they evolved, which was It was awesome. It was great.
Yep.
Like I said,
One of the scenes I loved with Monica was when she ends up being held captive by Quicksilver.
Quicksilver. What
was his name? Was it Ralph Boner?
Ralph Boner. That's it.
Ralph Boner was his real name. You know.
I had one issue with that. Issue with that.
Okay, go get into it.
It was just, she's trying to figure out how Agatha was controlling him and all that. And it was just a little necklace around his thing, and she just pulled it off, and that was it.
Dude, you gotta get picky about that stuff. We're dealing with witchcraft at this stage.
I know it could have been something a little bit. I don't know. It just that kind of got to me. I don't know why, but it just did.
Yeah, dude, that's an odd thing to get weird about. In a TV show that's dealing with literally magic.
I know.
You know what I mean? It seems to be like, I didn't like the charm bracelet, whatever it was. Whatever it was that was around it, that worked for me as a device.
But yeah,
yeah. But, and it's kind of really good. It's oh mate, sorry, I got a sore throat there. I think it's what really works in the first half too, is you really feel that anything could happen, because it starts to expand into the town.
Yeah,
and then but when you get into the town, Rick, that's where it gets really exciting, because what happens is we start to discover that Agatha is showing her of some of the horrors that she's done, the truth. You know what I mean? And what is a pretty scary scene when all the town folk are kind of coming at her, and she just like grabs her throat and starts choking them all at the same time. So, yeah, I mean, most of this episode, it's got to be frank, is out in the town, isn't it? I mean, it's all over the town.
The whole fight scene, she's trying to take, obviously trying to take Wanda's powers, and you can see her slowly deteriorating as she's taking those powers.
And almost wants them to give him to her.
Yeah.
I think Agatha's spending a lot of time trying to coax her into giving up her powers.
Well, that's what she said. She wants you to use your powers outside, use them, so she can take them. Yeah. Really good. Yeah. Awesome. She looks amazing. Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn was really great, and it's good to see that she hasn't been killed, and that's spoilers. We will get to her fate later on. But, I mean, if you think about it, you're 10 minutes into this episode, you've had a massive battle scene, you've had the town folk confront Wanda and go, please let me go. We dream the same dreams as you. And
taking your
thing. And we've had Monica kind of in that scene with Ralph Boner, Quicksilver. There's a lot happening very early on, I mean, it's really kind of moving at a pretty quick pace. So, obviously what happens is Wanda starts to think, well, I've got to free these people. These people are in pain. They're begging to be freed. She's holding catch. She's been torturing an entire town, and she's accepted at this point that what she's done, and she wants to do something about it. So, I mean, it's not long. I mean, it's like 15 minutes of the episode. She just goes, that's it. I'm shutting this sucker down.
And she just...
And we get that awesome scene where she starts to break down the reality. Meanwhile, Vision on Vision, crime. Vision on Vision. But, yeah, either way, there is... that whole scene is really intense, but the most disturbing part of that scene is what, Rick? I've set it up for you. The town's breaking apart. Vision fighting Vision. And then the
kids, they're breaking away. They're like...
Exactly. Wanda discovers that Vision and the kids are breaking.
They can't survive. She breaks the thing. They die. So she saves the town or she saves the kids and Vision. So she's in a dilemma.
I mean, like, we're doing a beat by beat discussion here, but she doesn't, of course. She chooses her family.
She chooses her family.
Which most people would do, let's be honest. She decides to go down that pathway.
And then Haywood and everyone else came in at that point. They got that gap. They all came in.
Yep.
So they're in. Agatha's still in the air.
Well, they're in, but they're also themselves.
That's right.
They're themselves. Right. Yeah, they're not.
They're not.
Haven't been converted by the reality of Wandavision. They're still basically themselves. So, But everyone's fully aware of what's kind of going on at this point. But I tell you what, we're going to come up to the minute to my favourite scene of this episode.
Yeah,
by mile, my favourite scene. I think it was so well written, such a great way to get him back into the fold, and it is the library scene with Vision and Vision.
Oh, Vision on Vision. Yeah.
When he discovers that he is Vision, but he's a version of Vision, and then obviously unlocking the memories of the spectral / white Vision or anti-Vision. And unlocking that, meaning when he does unlock that after a great dialogue scene where he convinces him, because the white Vision's mission is to destroy Vision,
and he said,
he couldn't because the Vision said, "Well, I'm a certain type of Vision. I'm not Vision. A temporary Vision almost." Which was great, and because of that dialogue, I just love how they thought it out together. Like a lot of that scene, they're just thinking out how do they kind of move forward with the situation. And I just love that he unlocks his memories and we essentially have not the same Vision, but another version of Vision with all the memories and experiences of Vision. And he does a bolt, and that's it. We don't see any more of that. But we know now he exists in the MCU in a way we have got. Marvel. No one ever's really dead.
No, that's right.
Always going to bring you back. No one ever really dies. So, and look, let's face it, we're going to get Gamora back sooner or later.
Yeah.
It's just the way the MCU is.
That's what makes
but
it
still,
good.
my favourite scene. It was,
and
there's a lot of great action in this,
The scene I like that scene. My favorite scene was when they were with the kids. She said, "Oh, look after the army."
Take care of the military kids.
Take care of the military.
Mummy be back.
And then Haywood just come out, no hesitation whatsoever, and the look on his face just started shooting the kids. And I thought, wow. And then obviously Monica jumped in front of the bullets, but he just kept going. I think we get a
real good sense of Monica's powers in that scene.
Yeah.
Because the bullets passed through her like they would pass through Vision. She was able to somehow, they were going through her without, they were phasing through her.
And then they just dropped.
Yeah. So it was kind of a good setup to say Monica is quite a powerful character here. I don't know if I'm super impressed in how they handle the resolution of Haywood's story. It seemed to revert to a very one-note, predictable villain kind of ending. I would have hoped for some more complexity out of Haywood, but I don't think we got it. I think he just served his purpose as a functional villain throughout the series. Wasn't super impressed with. But and I think I'm going to get into. I'm going to jump forward. Some of my main issues with this show really come down to things like that. Come down to the way they finalise Haywood's thing. I'm sorry, guys, to jump forward, but I got to say this: the end when she's closing the reality down, right?
Yeah, and it's going.
She's got this scene with Vision, and they're saying goodbye. Why couldn't you have just said, "Oh, and by the way, I've just uploaded myself to White Vision, so we're good, babe. Give me a paint job and we're the same thing."
Well, that's probably going to lead to something else.
Yeah, that kind of annoyed me a little bit. I was like, I just really wish you'd kind of done, you know what I mean? Because the fact that you don't say anything also leads on to the after credits scene. And it seems you put her through more pain and desperation by just not saying, look, I've uploaded my memories to a real Vision out there. Because she wouldn't have ended up where she was in the after credit scene if she knew that.
The last one, yeah.
Yeah, So, I mean, that was the only other thing that bugged me. I think it's hilarious that all the fan theories out there, or we were going to get
I know.
the entire Avengers team. And look, I bought into it. I thought for a long time we were going to get a Doctor Strange, but there's
no cameo. No. No.
None at all.
Nothing.
But I'm okay with that because
Mm.
by the end of the episode, you now know, because before that second after credit scene, I'd said to me and my son were talking over it, and Josh can't be with us tonight, unfortunately. We were talking to each other, and we'd made the impression that, she's now going to go to Doctor Strange and go, I need to learn how to use my powers. Right? Like, go to him as I'm going to Yoda, basically, right? But essentially, after the second credit scene, I've completely changed my mind on that now, because we see it in astral form.
Yeah,
going through and reading that book of whatever it is, the Book of the Dead, and is learning all the spells to obviously bring back Vision and the kids. That's what she's doing.
Well, you heard the kids. One of the kids go, "Mum,
come help me!
Yeah, come help!"
Yeah,
you heard something there.
Yeah. So it kind of triggered that at the end, but it was. I mean, by the end of it, I'm like, okay. Now, the reason she's in Doctor Strange too is because she'll be coming. And remember, Agatha mentioned it, that she can be more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme.
That's right.
Which is Doctor Strange currently. So that means Doctor Strange will get wind of this witch who's becoming very powerful. So, by the time the second end credits, I'd completely changed my mind from being, Wanda will go to him for guidance, to now, no, Doctor Strange will be going, what's going on here? You're becoming too powerful. So that's what I reckon's gone ahead of. So you don't need the after credit scene. I mean, the introduction of Doctor Strange and that. You don't need it because we all know it's going to lead to that.
We're going to lead to it. Yeah. I just felt it was just flat for me. Like it just, I kind of just the whole thing was just flat for me. I don't know what it was. Maybe because the fan theories and the hype around it and everything else.
I think it's hilarious that none of that happened.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
and if you really think about it, when's the last time anything massively strange happens in the MCU, like an after credit scene or something like that? Name me the thing that blew you away the most
out of the credit scenes.
All of them over the 10 years and all that. When you think about it, it's probably Thanos in the end of Avengers, all right?
Probably that
was, wow, they're going to do Thanos. That's huge, you know?
But the rest
obviously proved to be, well, they're always like little teasers to the next movie or something, but they're not like, Magneto wasn't going to fly down. It wasn't going to be.
It would have been cool. It would have just,
Yeah, I don't know.
Just something.
I'm okay with it. I'm totally okay with it because I think it gave us a lot.
Yeah.
That show gave us a lot, Rick. We've got an introduction of we had an origin story of a brand new hero with Monica Rambeau. You know, you can feel that. We had a show that had Scarlet, but with Wanda Maximoff becoming fully realized as Scarlet Witch. Fully realized, you know?
Yeah.
With uniform, the whole thing.
Which looked killer.
Amazing.
That was awesome.
We saw the return of Vision. That's incredible. You know? Even to have characters like Jimmy Woo and Darcy.
Jimmy Woo was good coming back.
Which was just absolutely wonderful, you know?
Yeah.
I thought it was a real disservice to Darcy at the end because her last scene we see her in is you're going to jail.
That was it. She rammed into the car and that was it.
Seemed very kind of abrupt ending. Well, I thought Jimmy Woo got a bit more of a kind of goodbye. Yeah. So
the end credit scene. Yeah.
You know, I think he might have fell a bit flat because, Rick, if you think about it, the way they make the show, it's 1 6-hour movie, right? And then they decide whether they're going to cut it up to half-an-hour episodes or they're going to do 45-minute, 50-minute episodes.
Yeah.
So, because they kind of, apparently, these 6-hour event series they're making cost them $150 million to make each one.
Wow.
So, you can't do a 12 long.
No. Oh, gosh.
It can't be done. It would be $300 million for Marvel. Marvel's not going to spend that money. So, you know, you've got this kind of time frame to do your stuff in, which I think is an excellent format. You can't, But what you're seeing, Rick, if you think about it, out of a 6-hour movie, you're seeing the last 50 minutes. So you're seeing about, 15, 18% of the movie. If it was a movie, you're sitting about 80
that
minutes. And if you look at it as like a movie, which is a 2-hour movie, the last 18-20% of a movie is your third act. It's your action scene and you're tying up the end of it.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to contextualize it more as the end of the entire experience rather than so judging it as an episode on its own.
But overall, amazing.
Yeah,
I love
because it doesn't stand alone as an episode on its own.
No.
Because you know what I mean. It's the same problem we're having with all these superhero movies, Rick, and it's the white elephant in the room no one wants to talk about. It all leads to the same goddamn ending. There's a big battle.
Of course, that's right.
There's a big battle, and then we've got to kind of set up the next thing. Yeah. So there's repetitiveness there. So that's why that stuff's going to feel flat as well.
What did you think
before
of?
We go on.
I was going to say, okay, that's right. Now we'll continue. I was going to say, what do you think of the zombie?
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Same. But before we do that, Rick, obviously we're going to play our final episode for this series. Final episode of Let's get in it. How well does Rick know the MCU? All righty, Rick. It's here we go, mate. You did really well last week, buddy.
I know.
Really well. Yeah. Now we know we've had a deck of cards over the weeks. I randomly shuffle them. I pick out a card at random, and each card is on one MC movie and has 5 questions. So here we go. I'm picking one out. I'm just picking one out randomly. This is the last one for the series, and it is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp was the final one.
Probably a couple of weeks back.
All right, well, let's get into it. Let's crack through this, and we'll get back to some Wandavision chat. Where has Scott Lang hidden the old Ant-Man suit? Where did he hide it? An Ant-Man and the Wasp. He hid the old Ant-Man suit. Where did he hide it? There's a whole scene around it.
Yeah. The whole scene, he had to go back to school with his daughter because she had a show and tell.
And what was she taking?
The trophy.
Yes, got it. Correct. Let's move on. Awesome. Well done, Rick. Okay, let's go. What is written on the trophy that Cassie gave to Scott? Ooh. What's written on the trophy? Deep cuts here in the Marvel world. I wouldn't have got this.
No. Because it was a joke around it.
Yeah.
Him and world's greatest.
Whoa!
I can see it. World's greatest.
Good work, dude. You got me. I wouldn't have got this one. Guarantee you wouldn't have gotten it.
It's not world's greatest dad because that's not the joke.
No, it's not that.
The joke. I'm trying to break it down.
World's greatest. What's your final answer? We're going to move on.
World's greatest grandma? World's greatest grandma?
Correct, grandma. You lucky sod. I'll let you get away with that one. There you go. Here we go.
Awesome.
All right, here we go. Name one of the 2 model ants that Cassie and Scott play with in his house.
When he goes down the big slide.
Name one of the 2 model ants that Cassie and Scott play with in his house. There's 2 of them. What's one of their names? I'll take one of them, Rick.
Hey, I can see the scene. I can see his playing with.
Yeah.
Andrew. No, not Andrew. No.
You done? What's your final answer? 3.
Anton.
I'll give you that.
Is it Anton?
You're not stalling and then fucking typing this shit into Google. It is Anton.
Yeah, mate. Anton. Nice.
Anton. Okay. Right. Well done, mate. You've gotten there for all 3 questions. Here's question 4.
This literally a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. What animal is Ant-Man mistaken for when he prevents Sonny Birch from escaping by what? By boat. So again, what animal is Ant-Man mistaken for when he prevents Sonny Birch from escaping by boat? He's mistaken for an animal. What animal is it?
They fill in the ocean
Yeah. What was
after
he?
the whole thing.
Yeah.
So the only thing in an ocean would be a whale, wouldn't it?
Yep. TikTok. There you go.
Makes sense.
Well done,
Yeah,
mate. This is brilliant. You're on fire. And the
it just
final
makes sense.
question for this series of how well does Rick know the MCU? And we'll have new games, new shows coming up. So this is the final question, Rick. To end it on a high, because you started poorly throughout the series, but you really picked up along the way. So it's been very cool. And here we go. Whose father was Elias Starr? Elias Starr.
No.
Whose father is Elias Starr? Is that right? Whose father was Elias Starr?
No.
Ghost. Ghost's father was Elias Starr.
Oh.
Whose father?
Oh.
Whose father was Elias Ghost? So there you go. Never mind, but that was fun. There we go. Let's get back into some talking.
Nice.
Back to some Wandavision now, and of course that was the final episode of this game show called How Well Does Rick Know the MCU? That was a lot of fun, Rick. All right, now you were talking about that scene with the witches.
Yes.
Which was a cool move by Scarlet, wasn't it? When she went, I'm going to pull a move I haven't pulled since Ultron days, and I'm going to mess with her head instead and take her back to Salem.
Which was,
and you know, Agatha's all over this, mate. She's actually always controlling the scene.
Yeah.
But it was a great scene. Yeah, what did you love about it?
That whole thing at the beginning brings her back, and then how Agatha's like, oh, she's so scared, and she's like, you know, she's all in control and all the rest of it, and then then you see the zombie, the cage witches come back to life, and the way they looked, and oh my god, it was so good, really, really cool, loved it, and then they just flipped the script, and then she was,
she never was in control,
and then she just launched it from there. So, but I just love that. So I thought it was great. It was good going on that, a little bit dark.
It was, you know, and you really got to see, but you also got to see that scene. There's another scene showing how far Scarlet Witch has come. Yeah, you know what she's capable of, and I mean she's capable of. You know, I mean she gets her way out of that scene in the end, but you know. It's the scene straight afterwards. She flies up and having this aerial battle between her and Agatha. Yeah. And Agatha thinks that, and Scarlet Witch has said, look, have the power. Have all my power. You want it? Here it is. And
here it is.
Throwing her power at her, but not always hitting her. Like hitting her sometimes, but missing her. But, you know, Agatha's loving this because she's getting all that power sucked up. And it's pretty messed up because you're seeing her age and turn into that kind of like all the life being sucked out of her, which is pretty full on. Except she was one step ahead, wasn't she?
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
I did not see that coming either. But a great callback and a great setup, and that is that each time she had hit the wall with the ones that she had apparently missed, she was creating runes. With that, as a callback to that scene of when, the earlier scene when you go into Agatha's room and she's the only one that can use the magic because she's put the runes up. Same deal with Wanda. Absolutely brilliant. And it basically makes Agatha, she can't use her powers at all. She's done. Yeah, which is pretty crazy.
That's it.
Well, you're basically dethroning her. You know, not even halfway through the episode. Well, it's halfway, just over halfway through the episode. The villain's been dethroned. She's got no power. Oh, my mic almost died then. Sorry about that. But, I mean, we start to see now the and I think this is where we really get to the crux, Rick, why you don't like this episode. Takes a very dark, depressing turn, this show. Because you soon realise as an audience member that she's going to shut the place down. She's going to kill her family. She doesn't have a choice here.
No.
So she's taken the kids home, taken the father home, You know, she's putting the kids to bed and looking in the window and seeing the walls closing in.
She did the whole kid scene kind of got. I don't know. She just didn't really spend that much. I know.
I thought it was a highly emotional scene.
Just kind of like, here, kids, you're in bed. That's it. Kind of.
Well, she was trying to create normality and get them to sleep before their existence is gone. I thought, as a parent, I watched it and it connected with me really well. I thought it was wonderful. You know, I liked that scene. I didn't like the scene following with her and Vision. I liked the goodbye and the, but it's just like, hey man, do you just want to say like you uploaded yourself to other Vision? And again, that's what kind of really bothers me. And by then we're at the end of the episode, aren't we?
Well, that's it, pretty much. That was it, really.
Well, when she starts breaking things down, there's a car accident between Darcy and the villain. One note villain.
And then it goes back to her in the middle of that empty lot. Land. That's it. And it walks through the crowd, the town, and then everyone's looking at her, and then that was it.
But what was the little twist at the end for Monica Rambeau? What did we find out about Monica Rambeau? Which is a great little nugget right at the end.
I forgot about that. Little,
back in the theatre when she goes into the theatre and the scroll was being revealed. And basically, Mr. Fury, big guy, wants to see you.
He's up there.
He's
up in space.
So he's actually know where she's headed. So we get to resolution of where's Monica's gone. We get to understand the Vision has disappeared now. The White Vision is gone.
So we don't know where he's gone.
All the characters are dispersing now, and away you go. So
and Catherine is just there.
Is trapped as the nosy neighbour.
As a neighbour. That was cool. I thought that was good. As punishment, didn't kill her. Didn't after everything she put her through. You are the nosy. You're playing the nosy neighbour. That's it. That's you.
Hey Rick, be honest with me though, right? Did you think that after credit scene when they were going through the mountains and the thing, you're thinking?
I was thinking
Wolverine, X-Men.
No, I was thinking Hulk.
Why? You're always thinking Hulk.
I know. As he's coming down, and and they look at his watch, and before he explodes.
Oh, incredible Hulk, dude! Like the Ed Norton one.
The Ed Norton one. That's the one that popped in my head. But
it was
a lame scene.
I was like, they're going to Canada. We're going to see another Wolverine. No. We're never going to go that far. That was the scene we were talking about where she's in the astral realm learning her magic.
She's reading
pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Doctor Strange ain't going to be too happy about that, I don't think. Anyway, but overall, I mean, as a standalone episode, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. As a finale to the series, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I know that doesn't make sense, but that's how I feel about it. I think it was a better finale than a standalone episode.
You
know what I mean? It was a better being part of a bigger piece than being an individual thing alone.
I just think it's just it's for me, it was probably a weaker episode out of the whole lot for me. It was one of the weakest ones for me. And then for being, I guess, the season finale, I'll have to rate it pretty low, mate. Down to 6 for me, mate. Yeah.
Wow, okay. Yeah,
it was just I just had
definitely disagree. I think the show was wonderful, I mean, I could watch it like now and then go, oh yeah, okay, I might enjoy it a bit more. I know, but overall, your experience is your experience with it, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, well there you go. That was WandaVision, the last final episode. That's the series wrap up. That's it. And we are not going to be getting a second season, I don't think. I think the storyline is done. I think we're definitely going to see way more of these new characters. We know Wanda Maximoff returns, a la now the Scarlet Witch in Doctor Strange, Amanda's the Multiverse, but we don't know where Vision is going to wind up. That'll be interesting to see with this new iteration of Vision, where he'll end up in the MCU movies. Now, before we talk about what we're going to be doing next week and leading up to what the future of this little series is, it's time to play my game.
Oh, yeah.
Ready? It's time for, does Jason really know when movies were made? And the concept of this is to test me out on if I know when films were made. Because I seem to brag about, I can tell you which year films were made. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. Let's find out.
All right, dude. You did really well last week as well. Actually, the last couple of games you've been doing really well.
Oh.
So we're going to see if we're going to stump you for the last one, Jace. All right.
Feel the pressure.
War Games. Matthew Broderick.
1983.
Oh, look at him. Straight off. Look at him. Done well, dude. Done well. Okay.
Saw that and Sim, I loved it. Do you want to play a game? Anyway.
War Games. All right. Let's move over to, obviously we are from Australia, so I like to.
Yeah, this is where you get me every time with Aussie movies.
This one, I think you might get one here, dude. I think you will.
Okay.
The Dish.
1998. Or 7. One of those two.
The final answer. It won. It was the most
97.
In that.
97. 97. Was it 98?
Close. 2000.
No way, was the Dish made in 2000?
Yep.
I thought it was like 98. I swear it was 98.
IMDb said it's 2000.
Lying sacks of shit.
Check him out.
No, I challenge that. I challenge IMDb on that one.
Is this challenger? Here we go. All right, get straight onto it. All right. Empire Records.
Shit, is that 92? 92.
It is in the 90s. I'll give you that. It is in the 90s.
Yeah, 92 I'm going with.
95.
Oh, okay.
So close.
You should get having a bad run.
You should get this one, dude. I know you should get this one.
Empire
The final one.
Of course it was 95.
The last one, which I know you'll get. Blair Witch.
99. Blair Witch was part of the 99 epic films. Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
That was publicly was released 1999, am I correct?
That's correct. Yeah. We done well, dude. You got 1-3. 3 out of 5.
Well, was that the last one?
That was it. That was 5. Yeah.
Was
I
it?
get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. And I got 3.
5. You got 3. Yeah.
You got 3.
So there you go. I think these funny ones are always the ones.
So there you go. Does Jason really know when movies were made? Kinda. Kinda. Got me a couple there. Empire Records, I don't know. As soon as you said 95, of course, it's so quintessentially grungy, that movie. That it was very in the center of the 90s. But that was the last of that. We'll come up with some new game for our next show. And now let's get into what the plan is now.
What are we going to do next show?
Well, obviously, the Marvel Cinematic Universe now has a long life on television, on streaming, sorry. So we're going to continue. Actually, before we go forward, I just want to shout out to a great contributor, Bruce. Hembosis. The Scarlet Witch outfit was perfect, 100%.
I agree. Yeah.
Perfection.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I think he also sums it up with his second comment here. I think he said, look, the finale was both heartbreakingly good and frustrating at the same time. I think you articulated better than both of us there, Bruce. So excellent comments.
You nailed it. Thank you, Bruce.
100%. Yeah, thanks for your contribution all the time, my friend. Now, what we're going to do moving forward is next week there is no Marvel show coming out. So we're going to do a series wrap-up and what I'm going to call a pre-series show where we're going to talk about where we think this show, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, is going to go. And then we'll be able to see throughout the series whether we're right or wrong. So it's going to be an early predictions type of concept that we're going to do next week around the same time. And then the following week, we start with the Falcon and Winter Soldier. And guys, when that's done, we will be then moving into Loki. And when that's done, we'll be moving into... me and Josh will probably move into Andor. Rick, I know you're not a Star Wars guy.
Yeah,
then Rick will be back for... Rick will be back for Miss Marvel. He'll be back for She-Hulk. There's lots of great stuff coming up, and we're going to be covering it with our live after shows all the way through.
It's
going to be really exciting.
We just finished Wandavision. We've literally just got a week off and then bang into another show.
And that week off, like I said, we're going to be talking all about that show anyway. Yeah, because we haven't really talked about Falcon and Winter Soldier at all, and I've got a lot of ideas and thoughts about what it potentially may be. Really exciting stuff coming up, and I think it's going to be, without giving, and we'll get into it next week, a wildly different show than what we've just seen. wildly different in tone, and it's going to be very, very different, which is going to be really exciting. Well, it's going to be more like it's going to be a sequel series to the Winter Soldier. I feel like very much so. But yeah, we'll get into that next week. But yeah, we're going to continue to do this all the way through. We just love doing it. It's easy for us to do. So next time you'll see us will be next week. I'll be in my new studio. I'm moving back out to the studio. Well, we've just had a summer, which wasn't much of a summer here in Australia.
No, it wasn't really.
So we're heading into our cooler months. So I'm going to move back out to the studio, which I mean I have a different background and all that kind of thing. So, fantastic stuff, guys. Keep watching. We'll just call it the Falcon and Winter Soldier pre-live after show, which is what it will be called next week. And that's what the name we'll give it. And then we'll, mate, it'll be exciting times ahead. Thanks for watching, guys. It's so much fun. I mean, we literally watched the episode and we scrambled to our computers. We fire it up. We maybe get 10, 15 minutes to get our thoughts together. And we're into it straight away because we just love the show so much. I think
that's the best way. I like that.
It's a really fun thing for us to do. But a lot of guys. Oh, Bruce, keep up the great content. Thank you, mate.
Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate it, mate. Thanks so much.
And he's been around for a while. I mean, like Bruce may probably question why we're not back out in the studio. We have all intentions of shooting back out. In fact, we're closer today than we've ever been before. And I would say, Rick, if it wasn't for, which we will not talk about and announce, if it wasn't for the thing that we're doing tomorrow, we would have shot in the studio. But the secret project that we're currently working on, Rick has really taken charge of this in more ways than one. This special project, which I'll let Rick announce when Rick's comfortable to announce it.
Yes,
Which will be taking, which is the reason we're not shooting at the moment. We're not shooting in the studio.
But
that's about to change.
We will get back in the studio, definitely, guys, because that's something that we love, and I know you guys appreciate that. So it will happen, guys. Thanks for your patience, but we will. Yeah,
we've got we've got new lighting kind of set up now, new green screens. New camera equipment, new microphone system. There's a lot of new stuff. It's going to be great.
Out with your projects that you're happening, Jace.
With work. It's certainly been a busy couple of weeks of juggling 3 projects at a time, which I love though. Keep me super busy. Things will hopefully quiet down a little bit. I'm going to put it out there. I think it's time for the channel to maybe rebrand. The logo will remain the same, but I think it's time we freshen up. Give the house of paint a coat. A coat of paint. I think. Yeah. What do you reckon?
Yeah. And that's something. And that's something that Jason.
I like to do that always 6 months. Yeah, create new kind of look.
He's the creative side of the show, and Jason did it really, really well. And so
we're going to freshen things up. Yeah. So it's
New Year.
Bruce, I'm glad you said that. I have seen the first episode. I've seen it. I have very strong opinions about it. Very strong. So I would love to have comments on it, but I would really like Rick to watch it. You know what, Rick? I challenge you before Monday night's Pop Culture Spread live show to take 45. You got Binge? Streaming service?
I'll get on it.
Yeah. That's who has it. Binge. That's the Australian streaming service that shows the CW content. It is I will say this, it is not like any other CW show ever before. And it is not, I repeat, not connected to the Arrowverse, which I know is a big statement to make because of those characters which did appear in the Arrowverse in one form or another, but it's a different take. But definitely would love to have a chat to you about that. So, yeah, good call there.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Bruce. No, we like it. Awesome.
Yeah. And this is what we really want, guys, too, is, you got ideas, you got things you want us to comment on, the trailers you want us to do a reaction on, anything you want.
Just drop us a comment.
We're pretty well, we'll do most things, like, in that sense, within reason, So if there's stuff you want to, get us to talk about, just always get on it. In the meantime, Really loved doing Wandavision live after show. Absolutely wonderful. It was fun doing it with you, Rick. I really look forward to Falcon and Winter Soldier in 2 weeks. Next week will be the Falcon and Winter Soldier pre-live after show. I'm getting out of here, Rick. I've had enough.
Guys. That's it.
You have a great night. Guys. Everybody out there have a great night, and we will see you next week. See you guys.